Hello everybody. Happy Saturday. It's the weekend. A cold weekend here in Oregon. Cold for me anyway. Yeah, so we are continuing Tyranny today. We are going to, I think, finish Act 1. I don't know if the game actually specifically delineates, acts, but we're gonna finish, I guess, a dungeon here and finish the first overarching plot line for the game. So, let's load that up. So, quick recap. We are a mid-level bureaucrat / lawyer type person working for the evil overlord Kairos, who is conquering the last free province of the land. And we were sent to this region to kind of get some bickering factions to set aside their differences and just get the damn job done, right? So, we were given a deadline. If we failed to meet the deadline, the entire region would just be annihilated by the evil overlord's magic and power. We had something like 8 days, I believe. We are in the final stretches of this with, if you see at the top, we have 5 days to go to Kairos' Day of Swords. So we have plenty of time. You'd have to really try hard to run out of time, I think. It really just gives some flavor and impetus to keeping you going in those early stages. So, the goal is to capture a citadel that they're called Oathbreakers, overran previously, and once we do that, the Day of Swords will be averted. There are 2 factions that we were navigating. There's the Disfavored. They're an army of kind of rigidly disciplined, ironclad soldiers. Kind of your Roman legion type of army, I suppose. The other one is the Scarlet Chorus. They are a much more rambunctious group of soldiers. Their whole deal is that when they defeat their enemies, anyone left alive is given the choice to join the Scarlet Chorus or to be killed. And if they choose to join, they're kind of thrown into this every man for themselves melee where the strongest, theoretically, the strongest who live get to join. I like the background lore for the Scarlet Chorus, so I've kind of been siding with them. And in fact, there was a big choice earlier between who will lead this attack on this citadel, and I did go with the Scarlet Chorus. In practice, well, their leader is highly entertaining. He apparently contains the minds and personalities of multiple people, and he is called the Voices of Narat. This singular character is given a plural name. He is highly entertaining. I enjoy every single scene with him. His minions and the people from his faction that you interact with are, on the other hand, just kind of dicks. Like, the background lore to them is interesting, but in practice, they're not that interesting as far as characters go. So whatever. I'm just being consistent with my choices as far as siding with them. Yeah. So yeah, let's get going. We have reached the Citadel after a rather tough battle outside, and I guess we just need to clear it. And I've been told that there's a lot of plot ahead, so I don't really have a good sense for how much time we have left in this so-called act. But presumably we're gonna kill a bunch of guys and yeah, have a bunch of conversations, I assume. So, before we move forward anymore, let us get some. We're gonna eat some consumables, give us some buffs for the next coming minutes, and maybe rearrange some of our potions and healing items and all that good stuff. I'm gonna move this. Oh, we can't. There we go. That is a revival potion, which somehow. There we go. There we go. Okay. Um, keep that in the stash for when we need it. Actually, I don't know if I can use it from the stash outside of combat, so I guess we'll just keep it here. And all of our characters have various food items that can just boost their stats, usually for a few minutes at a time. So yeah, we'll give some extra might to our tank here. And for our healer mage, we will... What are our choices here? Finesse. Yeah, let's do finesse for him. We want him to be able to dodge consistently. Same with verse here. Yep. And then for my main character, who we've named Iron Fist, +1 quickness. Yeah, we'll do that. Fire off our abilities a little faster, and hopefully that will be helpful. So our goal is to make our way through the keep to Ascension Hall and confront the leaders of the Vendrian Guard. The Vendrian Guard are the Oathbreakers we mentioned earlier. I suspect I could have, I don't know if turn is the right word, but I think we could have maybe negotiated with them a little bit, but my choices and luck just haven't quite gone the way that we might have wished. I'm also, so since we are playing for the Evil Overlord, and we're ostensibly fighting off a rebellion, I think it's possible to sort of side with the rebellion, you know, and kind of be the good guy. I didn't really want to go that route because I'm the good guy in every game. So we're just kind of playing through as a loyalist, I guess, and just seeing how that turns out. I don't really have any sense for where this game goes by the end, but we will see. And yeah, so I think we're ready to get going. I'm going to quick save here and let me know if audio is good one way or the other. And let's just start wandering around. And let's loot some stuff. Alright, there's some enemies there. I think we knew that. A couple more. What is this? Sun Soldier's Shield. Offhand only. Extra parry and dodge and endurance. Interesting. Wonder if I could give that to Lantry here. Because he goes down a lot. I don't quite understand why. Oh, it's an actual shield, I suppose. I think. I actually haven't really delved into how good or how shields work in general. Um, and in fact, I don't know if shields have like their own specific skill. So this game is a little bit like Elder Scrolls in the sense that you have skills that you level up through specifically using them. And I don't see one for shields specifically. Although I believe there are some passive abilities that will increase their um, efficacy. So Screw it. Let's just try giving Lantry a shield. And let's see if any of these stats go down, if that's possible. I think they only went up, right? Penalty for might. I haven't really delved into how these stats work, which might be screwing me over. I don't know. 54, 70, 56, 72. I feel like this is all good stuff, right? Also, would like to point out again that Lantry fights with a quill, an actual writing implement, which is the best thing. Okay. Veteran Guard weaponry and armor lie here. Also,
I'm about to chew my leg off.
Interesting. I am reading all of the text, so this is the slow audiobook version of this game. So let's get going. We got some dudes to kill here.
Send them at me in waves!
Alright, so we have Mage, looks like. It's probably gonna fuck us over somehow. So... want to make sure we taunt as many people as we can, and try to remember to use our buffs, which I am not great at using, or remembering to use at least.
On it.
Let's see how this goes.
The fuck is wrong with my weapon?
Okay. Alright. First taking some hits, but nothing's going terribly yet. I think what I want to do is silence this mage. Let's see if we can do that.
Right. I'll fill your guts.
I feel like that didn't work for some reason. Did he resist that? Let's see. Iron Fist engages Sun Soldier in melee. Burst misses the Honor Guard. No. I'm very confused. Okay, well. Let's put some evasion on Verse. I don't know why that... Let's try this one more time. Yes, there we go. That's what I wanted to have happen. And now that we've done that, let's see if we can heal up Verse.
Let them think they can hit me.
Okay. If I can, I would like to... Oh, that's the wrong ability. Sorry. I'm mixing things up. Okay. Lantry, why don't you... I think at this point we're just going to try to focus down a couple folks.
Sorry about that.
Try a different weapon.
Okay, alright, I want you to turn around. And maybe let's buff her.
Uh-huh.
Pay attention, kids.
And Verse, you go ahead. Oh, I don't have any potions for her. Well, that's a bummer. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, here we go. 37% health. Not too bad.
Learn something. Oh, time to change weapons.
They never had a chance.
This mage is kind of ruining my day here. Let's try silencing him again.
Right.
Okay, great. And let's turn around and... Okay.
Damn thing could pierce claw.
Man, Burst is just taking so many hits. Landry, you heal her if you can. Burst, what are you even doing? What are you doing with your life?
I'm on it.
Oh, she died. Okay. Okay, this is I'm looking for his revive ability. Okay. I'm gonna keep focusing this guy down. Okay, great. I feel like our mage disappeared. It's possible I'm missing something. That's always possible.
He is the crow flies.
Alright, we're gonna buff ourselves one more time. Verse. I think we're gonna give her this waking death thing because she apparently is just
I got it.
way too attractive to everybody. And we're gonna light this dude on fire, as one does. And let me see. We're gonna try to use our buffs again. Lantry. And then just keep focusing this one down, I think. Okay, now my main character is kind of taking some hits. Definitely a lot of micromanagement in this game, I'm noticing. Great. Okay. That's one guy down. That's another down, and now everybody's just gonna focus on this mage. Let's see, Lantry, you just, well, okay, you just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Yeah, buff her. And you, let's silence him one more time. Okay, great. Quick save time. Is there anything we can take here? Not in this specific room. Once we get here, we can take some of this stuff, looks like. Okay, well, I guess next step is to just walk in here and see what we see.
On it.
Game paused. Okay, so there's some dudes up here, unsurprisingly. The Vendrian Guard will never be the same after this battle. Alas. Alright, who do we got
Come
here?
at me, grave meat.
Alright, so we got some ranged
What
guys,
have we
but we're just running right up to them, so... See how combat is playing out.
Are you afraid of death, worm?
Take that!
Alright, I'm just letting the game kind of play itself right now. Great, okay. Quick save again, and let's check what's in this hidden area. Okay, so these are heavy cloth bracers. They're called Scholar's Glove. Oh, yes, okay, let's compare to... So, my main character is an unarmed mage. Yeah, okay, let's put this in here. And then, so she wears some unarmed focused gloves, but let's compare to what we have here. So, this is a superior item, which is theoretically, you know, better. But, I do believe we want to keep what we have equipped. Because this allegedly superior one just has lower stats all around, it seems like. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just dump that in the stash. save one more time, and let's all just casually walk out into the hallway here and see how it goes. Alright, we got a guy down here. So I guess we'll just approach him calmly. Oh, there's actually more stuff to loot. Okay, let's try that first. +1 might for 10 minutes. Okay. Let's grab what's on the shelf here. Potion of Elemental Barrier. Just take that for now. Okay, quick save one more time, and we'll run in here for real this time. Yeah, come on, come on.
More tallies to the body.
This is useless. Try something out.
Okay, we've got some status effects. Trying to figure out if they are on us, Sundered, Weakened, Degenerating, or if that's on her, on this person here. Well, I think I want Barrick to taunt this guy so he leaves our mage alone.
It will take more than that to break me.
Come and feast my iron.
Oh, okay. Our main character leveled up, which is great. Oh. Okay, well that's bad. I think we need to take out this mage first. Holy smokes. Because he, like, literally knocked us on our ass. Alright, let's think here. We have some elemental barrier potions. I do believe. But we're all knocked flat on our ass, so it's making our life a little difficult. So once we get back up, we can use this. This slot cannot be changed in combat. So yeah, this is what I was thinking of earlier. I can put these in my stash, but I can't move them into my character inventories for actually accessing them, which is a bummer. Okay, well, let's try to take out this mage, and maybe we can pull through this.
Something else.
Okay, so we want you to silence this mage first, for sure. And Lantry, why don't you... Okay, you've already used your AoE buff recently, so... throw that at him as well. Verse, well... Okay, let's just light him on fire.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so they're slipping on the ice, which is just delightful. Lantry, you need to heal Verse, please. That would be wonderful. Oh no, they keep slipping on the ice.
It's a hit.
Okay, Verse. Let's see here. Let's just yeah, let's do that. We'll just combo this guy down.
Ready for another?
I don't know what happened there. He disappeared and then just reappeared and knocked my tank flat on his ass. Alright, let's try to taunt everybody towards Barrack again because it's getting dicey. Let's try interrupting him again.
Come and feast my iron.
Okay, Verse, well, you're not dead yet, which is nice. Barrack, why don't you attack him? He's casting Icicle Storm, which is very good, Dave. I feel like some of these abilities just aren't doing anything, and I just don't understand why. I think what's happening is I'm not paying attention to the log down here in the lower right. So Barrick only grazed the sage, so he just kind of missed a little bit. That's too bad. Let's use some of our awesome spells, right?
You got it. Oh, someone stitch me up.
Okay, that mage is now dead. This guy is on his ass. Let's just palm strike the heck out of him. Okay, Verse, you need to drink another potion. Oh, you can't. Well, shit. And you can't heal either, but you could put a blur on her. So let's try that. Okay. Okay. We're slowly... We did it. We did it. Alright. Wonderful. And all our health will slowly, I believe... Yeah, it's going up. It's going up. So let's quick save and let's level up our main character. Let's see here... I've enjoyed making her quickness stat high so that she can just keep using her abilities as fast as possible. But maybe we want to boost our spell strength a little bit more. Let's just save that, and the most agonizing part of this process is choosing which abilities we want to use. So we have a thrust ability, and each of these skill trees have a passive additional effect that you can add to the thrust, which is really tempting every time. We've done a couple of those. But the leadership tree has also been pretty great. So this also boosts our thrust ability. But we also have some options down here. Just a bunch of really great passives and a few good active abilities as well. Tough choice, tough choice. Let's see, power, that gave us the palm strike, which lets us silence enemies, which is pretty cool. Then we've got these stances, which so far only Verse has available stances. They give you different bonuses and there's trade-offs, right? I think you're stronger in something and less strong in other things. But haven't really felt inclined to use them so far. I should say in a deliberate manner. Cleave, a sweeping cone attack that hits multiple nearby enemies. I've been wishing for some AoE crowd control type stuff. But maybe I should just focus on making my thrust ability the most hilariously overpowered thing that I have. I don't know. And I love the idea of just giving passive bonuses just by being near me. Maybe we'll do that. When you fall to low health, you let out a battle cry that heals you and your party members for a portion of their maximum health. So this would be... I'm just curious what the threshold is for this firing off. And while in combat, every 3 seconds, we just kind of boost all their stats just for a little bit. Just kind of like that. I think I'm going to have to do it. We're going to do that. Great. Okay. So let's loot some stuff. Arcane glyphs adorn the scrolls scattered on this table. The penmanship suggests a sage's hand, though it is written on crude parchment produced in the valley, a collaboration between two normally separate rebel groups. Well, we had some powerful sages in here, so that's not a surprise, I suppose. Scroll sits here, glowing with mystical energy. Read the scroll and absorb the magical knowledge it contains. Learned new spell core. So our spell cores are our types of magic. Sigil of Force. The Sigil of Force channels arcane energy into magical forces that push and knock enemies to the ground. Oh, I love that. That's what they were using on us. They it looked like they cast some ice or something, and it was just knocking all our characters flat on their ass. So I love that. um, I love that. Okay, let's create a spell. So these all. So well, okay. What does this require first off? Just 0 by itself. So that's fair. But we need to remember, I'm thinking I want to give this to Landry to start off with because he's kind of our healer buffer dude in general anyway, so I would like to keep doing that. But his lore is 66, so we need to keep that in mind. So we could affect distant targets. We could affect targets within a cone, and we could alter the target's armor. I'm curious what effect this would have. Okay, so if we were to use this, uh, the way this works right now is it just speeds the heck out of our allies. Um, plus 25% move speed, minus 25% recovery time, which means we can just cast our abilities faster or more quickly. Um, So, okay, so that's an option. All right, so distant impact. Uh, so that's an attack spell, does crushing damage, and it gives a dazed affliction, which slows them basically. Also can interrupt them possibly, and there's an area of effect. It looks like. So bombard a distant target with concussive forces. So it does damage. It can interrupt, and it's got an AoE as well, it looks like, if I'm... Yeah. I think this could work. I like this. What do we have here? We can boost... Oh, actually, okay. So right now, I can fire this from 8 meters away. I could boost that for 10 meters, which, okay, sure, why not? We can improve the accuracy and intensity. Well, we could do intensity, but the lore required is way outside of our range, unfortunately, it looks like. So that's plus 20, requires 55 as is, so I think we'll just keep this the way we have it. So let's assign that to Landry. That's going to be fun to use, I think. Yeah. I haven't been assigning skills to my tanks, but, or, well, yeah, my two other characters. I wonder if I should be doing that. We have a frost spell. What could we do with that? If we did a guarded form, that is... So that's something that boosts armor, it looks like. It boosts certain kinds of armor and um, reduces other kinds of armor. So shock and crush, you're more vulnerable to those. If you're using ice, I guess the idea being if you're coated in magical frost for protection, you're more vulnerable to being shattered or just electrocuted. I guess that makes sense. No, go away. Okay. All right. I'll just go ahead and try it out. I don't know how good that'll be, but okay. Let's save. Let's poke around, see what we can see. Scroll, just an empty scroll. Did I, in fact, take that? I thought I did. Spire. Okay. I can't right-click on it. I can't do anything with it. In fact, I don't have a category in my character inventory for this. I have no idea what this does. Landry, can you look at it? This, oh, okay. I can't right-click on it here. And I gave it to her, but it just went into the stash. Okay. Well, I'm very confused, but I guess it's fine. And we've got some more consumables. Maybe I'll give that to Landry. Okay. Save. Let's, Landry, I think I'm just going to give you this because you need to be able to die. Actually, no, let's give it to Verse because she is attracting a lot of attention in this area for whatever reason. So let's use that. Main character. Let's just use that. Why not? Barrick. Sure. Sure. Boosted speed. What could go wrong? And +2 vitality and might. He's not really the might kind of character. Let's just do, yeah, move speed and dodge. Those all seem useful. Hey, Dentalos. So the scroll is a resource for later. Okay, good to know. Yeah, there's no indication at all as to what it was for. Alright, let's save, and we are continuing. And let's just frickin' run up and...
Another battle!
Another battle? Yes.
Battle.
Okay, our new objective apparently is to defeat the rebel leaders. So, do these people have names? These are just mooks so far. But we do have a sage, and I feel like I want to focus on them first. But let's rain blood from the sky, because that's always fun. Alright, and Barrick, you taunt, well... Let's try these three. Verse, you... Oh, right, you're raining blood from the sky. And Lantry is gonna buff. And you are going to silence the heck out of this sage. And that didn't work, unfortunately. Iron Fist misses the sage. Oh, so it actually gives you the dice roll calculation. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, well. Put a blur. Nope. On her. And... Gosh, I don't know. Let's just try to taunt him.
As you command.
Alright, let's see this play out. Okay, Verse is going after the Sage now. Lantry is doing whatever it is he's doing. Let's use our new spells. Let's crush the heart of this Sage. Oh, that did some damage. That did some damage. Let's boost Verse's armor as well. I love these sound effects.
I can't dance.
See that? I'm not
And let's heal Verse as well.
entirely useless.
Thanks, Lantry. You're important.
Pity, you won't enjoy this.
Okay, Verse is having a hard time with this mage. But to be fair, my main character was as well. Oh, Verse just ran away. That's fair. That's fine. Sure. Oh, that's just a ball of electricity. That seems bad. Okay, let's try healing the Fatebinder.
On your command.
Okay, so that's good. And let's thrust at the mage. Oh, alright. He's dead. Great. So many screams of agony.
For the queen!
For the queen? What? Let's see, Verse, where are you? You are here. So why don't you just go ahead and I don't know. Do that. Do whatever that is. Okay, cool. I think we're good. Great, great. So there's a doorway there, but we are going to poke around a little bit before going through. So this is just heavy armor, which nobody so far has been able to take advantage of. Let's save and...
Yes.
Hold on, no.
Will do.
Everybody over here. Got some stuff. Give me 1 second. Just checking a message real quick. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see, no level ups. Okay, I guess we're on to the next floor, perhaps? I don't know. Let's save. Interesting. Well, this is a gorgeous room. I love this. And it looks like we're gonna have a chat with Ebb here. I would kind of like her to, you know, just turn and run, let's say. I don't need her to join me if she doesn't want to. I mean, she probably doesn't want to. But I don't really want to fight her. She seemed like a nice person. So yeah, presumably we're gonna walk in here and have a little chat. Tarkus Ari. So, you are the vanguard of Kairos' conquest? Not as tall as I imagined, but we can't all choose our executioners. Already, word of our defiance spreads throughout the lands. You're 7 kinds of stupid if you think our war ends here. Before you stands Captain Tarkus Ari, de facto leader of the dwindling Vendrian Guard. Short, sunburned, and agitated even when standing still, her body is a compact sculpture of muscle and bone, and her face is short on symmetry thanks to the scars and dents of a dozen brushes with death. Wish I could zoom in on her a little better. Though your lives will certainly end here in Ascension Hall. She chortles, pointing upward to the ceiling, its stone arches somehow supporting the massive weight of the spire overhead. Consider yourself fortunate. Some of the finest rulers of Apex met death by duel in this hallowed hall. Truly, there's no finer place to settle an intractable feud. Sisters, brothers, Ari looks back to her cadre of soldiers with a solemn nod. It has been a privilege to lead and an honor to share in your final days. Taking a deep breath, she turns to you, waiting silently. So we have a couple options to bluff. Okay, well, let's just start from the top and hope that none of these short-circuit things. What did you hope to gain from your rebellion? Nothing that we haven't already gained. Our pride, our dignity, these things you can never take from us. She smiles, her eyes distant for a moment. The Vendrian Guard could never stand against all of Kairos' forces, but we can teach others to resist. And maybe you'll run out of soldiers before we run out of stubbornness. But I doubt it. You already use Kairos' currency. Speak the language. Military control is a formality. Oof. But that's... Ari stammers, swatting at the air. That's just sophistry. Kairos speaks our language, not the other way around. Besides, that proves nothing other than common history. But the Fatebinder is saying that Kairos is not just one enemy, but a massive force that can reach you even in times of peace. Armies and edicts are just two of the bloodier ways Kairos can control you. Seems your uprising amounted to nothing but dead kinsmen. And what did taking Vendrian's Well cost you? How many disfavored corpses rust in the valley? How many choirmen fell to our blades? How goes the endless battle of the Blade Grave while you deal with us here? The Blade Grave is the name given to the remains of the realm of Stalwart after its ruination when Kairos proclaimed the Edict of Storms upon the lands. Okay, this is where Barrack was from. So the Blade Grave is what they call that now. Interesting. Ari laughs, wincing as she clutches at her side. And tell me, are the Archons unified in victory? Did the armies bond in camaraderie over our deaths? Our stand here is the first of your problems. How did you know the Archons were feuding? We are hopeless, not witless. Our eyes and ears tell us much. Ari covers her mouth, stifling a smile. I will die happy, knowing your invasion will grind to a halt as the two Archons tear each other to pieces over the title of victor. Perhaps my only regret is not living to see which Child King will win. If you're so eager to follow my blade, stop prattling and come at me. Or are you gutless as well? Well, okay. Any last words? Yes, a broad smile comes over Ari's face. Tell the voices of Narat we are most thankful for his aid. We would not have made it this far without his support. What the fuck? End conversation? Shit. Damn it. I'm tempted to reload that and see what happens if you try bluffing. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We'll go through all those conversations just real quick. But I want to see what those bluffs do. Alright, so let's all walk in. I'll click through these. I won't reread all of them. What did you hope to gain? Nothing but dead kinsmen. Maybe let's try this one. You've traded your kinsmen to slow the inevitable, nothing more. We demonstrated that the armies of Kairos could be shamed by stubborn peasants. The Overlord's empire is vast, his armies numerous, his magic unstoppable, yet he cannot destroy our fighting spirit. Hardly the show of force I'd expect from a truly fearsome Overlord. I hope that argument keeps you warm in the emptiness of the void, guardsman. You bring a lot of magic to fight directly beneath the spire. Trying to bury us all? Just what sort of inbred fool are you? I'm not entirely sure what she's referring to there. But let's try it. Let's go with that choice. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Okay, well. I suspect we're not going to be able to avoid combat here. Oh. 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 Get back here! Ari shouts at the fleeing... Oh, the sage is gone. Fantastic. What was I thinking bringing cowardly scribes to a sword fight? Eb was right about the lot of you. Sisters, brothers, it has been a privilege to lead and an honor to share in your final days. That's fantastic. This ends now. Finally, an end to the backbreaking siege. Ready yourself, guardsmen. The dance approaches on swifter feet than yours. Let us finish it then. She turns to her soldiers, raising her sword aloft. Warriors of the Vendrian Guard, scions of Apex, children of the Tears, let's repay Kairos' minions for the pain they've shown us. Alright, so Eb is still here, and she's probably going to try to fuck us over in agonizing ways. Maybe. Let's all just go after this guy first. Alright, Lantry. Need you to buff us, please. That would be great. Eric. Let's do some taunting. Iron Fist, let's buff yourself. And Verse. Well, Verse, why don't you... burn a motherfucker. That was really cool. Like, okay, so she fired like some kind of bouncing spell that then bounced back and forth between these two. It didn't seem to do like amazing damage, and the combat log says that it was ineffective basically, but like it looked cool. I'm all for cool looking magic in games. Alright, so that's Verse. Alright, why don't you just do that, and you... Let's see here. Do that. Lantry? I don't know. Why don't you just attack this person as well?
I will aid you.
Ooh, Iron Fist is taking some damage. Let's do that. We can... By that I mean... make our main character a little blurry, so she's harder to hit, and heal her as well. Barrick, just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Okay. Iron Fist, why don't you punch him?
Got it.
Was he just healed? That would be bad. That would be very bad. Alright, Iron Fist, heal thyself. And, I don't know. Just, yeah, punch some more. Do some more punching. Mage Fire, okay, great. Let's do Thrust again.
Will do. Fall before me.
Okay, and just keep focusing the archer down. Okay, he's dead. Lantry, do you have your heal available? It doesn't look like it. Well, if you can, why don't you buff Iron Fist? Barrick, why don't you... What is that? No, we want this. Do some more taunting. we're gonna need a potion for our main character here. First, light somebody on fire. Just that would be great.
You got it.
Okay. Now we've got Ebb, who we've been ignoring, and we've got our main captain, who is injured. I'm gonna try to focus down the captain to start with, anyway. Captain has some AoE.
They never had a chance.
Okay, yep, do that. And why don't you just palm strike this person as well?
Consider it done.
And thrust at them, as
On
one
it.
does. That didn't seem to do anything, unfortunately, but... Okay, first, why don't you use your skewer ability?
I'm on it.
Ooh, nice. Okay, well, Verse leveled up and fully healed, so that's fantastic. I want to try taunting Ebb.
I need to try a different weapon.
Fall before me.
Lantry, let's see here. I was hoping he could heal Iron Fist, but that doesn't look to be an option. Let's try casting Blur on her instead. I think she's poisoned. Oh, she's drowning. Oh, good lord. Spellcasting disabled. Holy shit. So does that mean I can't use my refuse? Well, it's an ability. Let's try it. That worked. That worked. Great. Okay. Drink a potion, please.
Words will cause more harm than this useless weapon.
All right, let's keep focusing down the captain if we can. It looks like the taunt on Ebb worked as well, meaning she's attacking Barrick, but he's doing just fine. Just fine. Ooh, he's on fire. All right, let's see what happens with Ebb here. I'm curious how it's gonna go. Silence her. She is silenced. Great. Let's do a thrust. Okay, Barrick is drowning. Look at this spell effect. He's got a bubble of water covering his head. That is horrifying. So her whole deal is, I forget the name of her school of magic, but it's water magic. So she just dropped an ocean of water on Barrick's head, and he's literally drowning. So that's unfortunate. And it looks like her our debuff removing ability is on cooldown, so it can't really help him right now exactly, but Barrick might be fine. That's it. Okay, so Ebb took a knee rather than straight up died. So I'm guessing we'll have an opportunity to recruit her, since that was sort of spoiled for us in the menus. Alright. You worthless gnats. We may die, but others will follow our example. Mark my words. The captain coughs up blood. I think the captain... Oh, the captain is right here. Okay. Crush them all! The fifth eye's battle cry falls flat as he surveys the room littered with Fendrian guard bodies. Now that's how it's done, Fatebinder. I should be angry you denied me a scalp or two, but I ought to thank you for saving us the trouble. I can betray the Alliance. Interesting. I'm not going to do this, but I would like to know more about how often this is an option? I love that it is an option. I'm sure your Archon will be pleased that I managed to do the job for you. Well, of course. If anyone appreciates the delegation of risk to expendable outsiders, it's the Archon of Secrets. Oof. The party has received outbreak. I don't know what that means. The clatter and madness of combat has finally ceased. Ascension Hall is, for a moment, tranquil. May pox take your children. Ari slumps to a crouch, her body trembling from injury and fatigue. With those words of defeat, the burning hum you've heard in your head for days on end tapers off into nothing. Your mind returns to a state of quiet, and you have not felt since before you proclaimed the edict upon Vendrian's well. I lay claim to Ascension Hall. Let us be free of this edict. You feel a tug in your chest as a warm energy begins to form around you. Before you know it, you feel as if you are lighter than air. Whoa! Did we expect that to happen? That looked amazing. This looks amazing. This also has an extremely strong, like, 90s top-down RPG look to it. So what is happening? You blink away the last of the luminescent trails in your field of vision. The masonry of Ascension Hall is replaced with wide open space in every direction, save for the slab of ancient stone beneath your feet. High winds shove you, pushing you off balance. The air is cool and thin, unsatisfying to your lungs. Is this? Lantry looks out to the horizon, wide-eyed with excitement. Yes, this must be the mountain spire. When was the last time? Lantry's eyes look down over the ledge. Dumbstruck by the vertical plunge, Lantry backs away from the edge. I may need to retch. This is certainly a change. The wind ruffles the feathers in her hair, and Verse quickly smooths them down. A damn cold change. She peers over the edge. Think I could land on my feet if I jumped? Not that it would matter for long. It's true. Kairos be merciful. What now? Varric spins around on his feet, looking about, trying to take in as much as he can through the narrow visor of his helmet. Every way you look, mountains rise up along a distant horizon. The rivers and forests below bring to mind maps of Vendrian's Well, and you quickly trace the Mitanni, the Ironev, and all the numerous waterways of the region. Higher than you imagined it, this is indeed the pinnacle of the spire at Vendrian's Well. How did we get all the way up here? Ari strains to stand up, clutching her side. More importantly, how do we get down? The fifth eye aims a sharp glare at Ari. The Vendrian Guard must be rounded up and conscripted. The disfavored must be run down. Much as I would relish the opportunity to fight alongside the disfavored right now, I cannot begin to imagine the chaos unfolding beneath our feet. Varric clenches his fists with a squeal of metal and turns away. I'm not sure who we are talking to. So we can just send word to the voices that we're successful. Maybe we're just speaking, to whomever will, perform our whims. I hereby claim this place. All combatants must leave. Yeah, let's do that. This is no longer strictly a military concern. We need to take a breath and sift through what just happened. You claim it? The Scarlet Chorus bleeds for your victory, and you would so arrogantly savor the fruit all to yourself? Would you deny the life sacrifice of countless? The fifth eye burst into a chortle, waving his hands dismissively. I jest. There are plenty more soldiers where they came from. The voices will not protest your claim for the time being. Send word that we are successful. I'm not entirely sure what my last choice, what effect it actually ended up having, but our glory overfloweth. We would happily carry such good tidings to the Archon, but this humble servant cannot fly. Besides, the Voices is a master of all matters magical. I highly doubt whatever just happened escaped his attention. We can choose to toss Ari over the side with a note. Our other option is agreed. Anybody witnessing what just happened knows the edict is over, but you should report to Narat and return with any news he has for me. Head through that portal. I Is this a portal? Is this a portal? I'm not sure. No telling how stable it is, but look closely and you'll see images of Ascension Hall in the haze. Well, if you have trained eyes, that is. Of course, even if it's not stable, the alternative is jumping, so what do we have to lose? It's true. By Kyrus's iron grip, how did... The fifth eye taps his mask in a semblance of deep thought. The currents of magic glow as fire to our eyes. Strange that you saw this first. That is strange. What secrets is Lantry holding? Welcome back, Dentalis. We have ascended the spire at Vendrian's Well. Send my compliments to the voices of Narat. Sure. It has been a pleasure in the loins to watch you fight, good Fatebinder. I didn't want to know that. The voices will be most pleased. With the edict resolved, our purpose is clearly in focus. The disfavored must be slain. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I guess we'll see how this goes. Check out that room where the fight was. I will do that. No doubt I'm the very definition of an enemy of the Overlord. I didn't just resist, I led others into resistance. So I know what's about to happen, but I know when I've met my match, and like most folk, I'll do whatever it takes to live. If you will show me mercy, I will pledge my life to you, good Fatebinder. Is it double posting for you too, or just me? No, I'm only seeing single posts, so gonna have to blame you for that one. Sorry. So Ebb is just like suddenly all about helping us out. The enthusiasm with which she does so makes me nervous. The Tidecaster bows on one knee, lowering her gaze. I know I'm an Oathbreaker, so my word isn't what it used to be, but I promise, if you spare me, I will serve you well. What are my choices? What effect will this have? Gosh. If I let you live, I'll regret it, won't I? I mean, I kind of want to say that. My fighting days are over. If you let me go, I'm gone. Gone from this battle, gone from the tears. I'll never harm another servant of Kairos for the rest of my hermit life. Okay, so we could just let her go. Why would I possibly trust you? Because I'm all out of reasons to fight you. The Vendrian Guard and the School of Tides are no more, leaving me with no loyalties or ties to, well, anyone. And we must all bow to Kairos' minions eventually, right? I would die before swearing fealty to the voices of Narat, and Graven Ash would kill me in a heartbeat. If I am to serve anyone in this new order, it should and must be the Archon of Justice, and you are the only servant of Tunon I can think to ask. Okay. Serve me well and all can be forgiven. I think we're going to do that. If you will have my fealty, it is yours. I, Ebb of the Tidecasters, do hereby pledge my life and loyalty to Iron Fist. She dips in a formal bow. I will serve and obey so long as you have need or want of my skills. Uh... Well, shit. I mean, I figured it was a four-person party, but I didn't know I'd have to change it right this second. Like, I'd kind of like to keep her around for this scene, but damn this game and its agonizing choices. Okay, let's dismiss Barrick for now
Be seeing you, Fatebinder.
and bring in Ebb. Okay. Vendrian's well has fallen. For the second time since the conquest began, Kairos' armies take the citadel from its defenders. With your help, the Vendrian Guard rebellion has been crushed. Having taken Ascension Hall with your Scarlet Chorus allies, you satisfied the terms of the edict. You and the forces of Kairos are free from the Overlord's death sentence. With the threat of execution no longer looming overhead, the Overlord's armies turned their attention away from the citadel and towards each other. The tensions that flared over the long siege reached an explosive crescendo as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus armies clashed iron and bronze in a hasty, disorganized battle. After a brief exchange that left his soldiers bloodied, Graven Ash withdrew his army from the valley, pulling the disfavored back to their secure fort in the Blade Grave. Once his army finished licking their wounds, the voices of Narad ordered the Scarlet Chorus to gather in the Stone Sea and prepare for war, this time against their former allies. The Archon of Secrets instructed his soldiers to respect your lawful claim over the spire. Though a few greedy stragglers still lurk in the valley, the Scarlet Chorus were content to leave your stronghold uncontested. My stronghold? So, like, this is like my home now? That's awesome. As days passed, the wounded and injured were nursed to health. You explored your strange bastion and planned your next steps with careful deliberation. As word spreads that the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored turned on each other, factions once resolved to bend the knee are inspired instead to continue fighting. The Archon's feud has heralded the collapse of Kairos' offensive. Whoops. Tunon, the Archon of Justice, observes the chaos and discord spreading across the land. The Archon summons his Fatebinder to return to court at the Bastard City and report on her actions in Vendrian's Well. Okay. Our petty squabbles over a delayed siege have no doubt evolved into a respectable civil war. The voices of Narat will want to discuss the matter. By now he's pulled back to the base at Cacophony. I suggest you don't keep him waiting. The last time someone left the voices of Narat waiting, he pulled the skin off their hand and moved their bones into the shape of a glaring eye. Needless to say, it didn't heal well. I'll join you at Cacophony as soon as I speak with Tunon. Do that. The voices of Narat loves to entertain new guests, and I'm sure he'll find you quite diverting. Be seeing you, Fatebinder. The dizzying energy from the spire falters. Whatever force awoke the powers that reside here gutters and fades, though a faint hum persists in the sculpture at the center. Artyom! Thank you for the raid, man. Welcome, everybody. How did your stream go? You were streaming Sniper Elite, right? Hey, hi, hello. Hey, Fish. Welcome, welcome. You just come at the climax of this particular story arc. It's fun and hilarious. Excellent. Excellent. Is that something you're going to keep playing, you think? Or is that a one and done kind of deal? Good. Good. I'm glad to hear. It's good when we play a game that we actually, enjoy and don't toss behind us in anger. Excellent. Well, cool. Glad you enjoyed yourself. I suppose the one bad thing about all games going digital is that we can't package them up and then toss them over our shoulders as the anger overcomes us. But probably for the best. What can you do? All right, enjoy that shower. Alright, so we have a new civil war on our hands, apparently, and we have a new party member. And I guess we're going to explore this place quite a bit. I watched that clip the other day. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Okay. Okay, so Fifth Eye is perturbed. What? Stepping past the portal, almost to the edge of the spire, Fifth Eye lets out a squeal of panic. My exit vanished. It was just there. I don't know what happened. This is all new to me. The humming from the curious sculpture pulses and builds in volume as if to draw your attention. Okay. So this is presumably our portal down to ground level. We are at the top of a massive fantasy-ass tower that just we warped to the top to unexpectedly. It's very epic and cool, but also kind of confusing. So co-op shower with Bogle, nice, nice. Everybody's winning today. Saturdays are great, aren't they? I love them. All right, let's take a look here. To the west, you see the shining spire of Lethian's Crossing, and to the east, you can see deep ashen clouds surrounding the burning library. Um, right. Suppose I should go figure out the teleporter. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, on closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. I'd be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies that we don't understand. Lantry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. Hell yeah, it does. I can feel power running through this place. Ebb surveys the surroundings, her gaze sweeping to the object at the center. You can sense the magic of the spire even from down below, but up here, this close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of energy is numbing. What is this thing? The surface of the rock edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? Your voice. For a moment there, it sounded like song. The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush warmth through your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. This sounds amazing. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there is nothing you cannot see, though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, two walls extending off into the distance. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky, toward you. Some of the faces looking at you are familiar, and you recognize this place as Lethian's Crossing, where you served during the war. This is some good fantasy shit. I like this a lot. Near this settlement, built at the joining of the ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry. a cleft into the forbidden, hidden realm within the old walls. Let's drift into the old walls entrance. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There's a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Figures haunt the stone halls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Fendrian's well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. Let's drift closer to the spire. The spire feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone. A branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. Your body floods with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. Is this tower alive? Like, this is insane. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surroundings. So there are multiple spires like this one, it seems like. I'm hoping that we can go visit all of them at some point. Okay, what now? Okay, did you sense that? Lantry signs a long sigil in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal over there, those burning braziers, they all grow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related? Either way, it sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Speak with me after you see Tunon, Fatebinder. The disfavored need to be shown their place. If a dog acts up, you use a firm hand to put it back down. If we are to succeed in the tiers, we must work quickly. I will be waiting. Okay, so what do we have here? We have some quests. Okay, so we have a quest to investigate these spires we've just been reading about. So that's a main quest. We also have a quest to meet back up with our boss, Tunon. He awaits you. He awaits your return to his court in the Bastard City. Okay. So presumably this portal will take us down to the bottom floor. Maybe? I don't know. Let's save. If I click on this, okay, the sculpture doesn't respond to your touch. Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is level up our characters. Let's see. Verse, you get a level. I think I want to put a point into her health because... Oh, interesting. She has a minus 5%. Oh, maybe I have an injury. Does she have an injury? No. Okay, I don't understand why that's the case, but I'm not going to stress it too much. But I am still going to give her another point in health because I think she needs it. Okay, save that and let's see what abilities we want to give her. We tried to give her a bonus to dodge before. But let me think here. So these are ranged abilities, kinda, sort of. So we can make her more evasive. We can give her immunity to burning and bleeding, which is kind of cool. And then if we come over here to duelist, we can give her a rush attack. After a kill, Verse will strike twice with her attacks. I think we're going to stick with Skirmisher for now. So when she's in the party, if we have this ability, all our party members will gain a bonus to dual wield bows and athletics. That's not that helpful. I think we'll just give her an immunity to burning. I mean, who doesn't want to be immune to fire, right? Okay, let's save that. And now we have Ebb, our new party member. So it looks like we need to assign all of her points to this point. To this point. So she's a spellcaster, and her weapon skills are magic staff based and, well, magic spell based, of course, but yeah, lore, love lore. And okay, so how can we maximize that? Okay, I just noticed that when you highlight on a skill, it highlights the relevant stats as well. That's really nice. The UI in this game is pretty good. There's a lot of information, and it can be hard to parse it all, but there is a level of polish to this that I don't typically see in a lot of RPG user interfaces. So I like that a lot. Okay, I think we want to focus on wits and finesse and, well, yeah, okay. So let's put a couple points into here, a couple points into here, and let's just give her a little bit extra health. And then as far as abilities go, so in the last battle, she was casting like globes of water on enemies' heads and drowning them, which is horrifying, but I definitely want that ability for myself if I can get it, which I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. Oh, here we go. Mother's Embrace. Summon a globe of water to surround the target's head, leaving them to slowly drown. It was horrifying and amazing. I loved it. Okay, so we're gonna take that. Um, okay, so she's all about frost damage as well. Okay. Let's take an arcane missile. We can lift a target into the air and violently throw them back down. Foes take arcane damage and a portion of their lost health is drained back to Ebb. Well, I think we want that. We have 2 more points left. Okay, let's give her an armor bonus, and then let's take this one that boosts experience with lore and spells and magic staffs. I think we like that. Okay, what do we have in here? So this is our current status with our factions. There's nothing new there, I don't believe. Ebb is new. She has a combo ability. Ebb and the party are lifted into the sky. Ebb then radiates moonlight, healing allies and harming enemies. Well, that's amazing. She radiates moonlight. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Spire upgrades. This is a whole new thing. Wow, you can hire people. Okay, so the spire we just gained access to is a whole thing, it looks like. I did not realize that was a thing in this game. Okay. All right, I'll check this out later a little bit. We've got some more emails from our boss, Tunon. Okay, Iron Fist. The Archons inform me that the recapture of the Citadel from the Vendrian insurrectionists continues apace. That they wrote me separately of their divergent tactical intentions engenders no small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment see you through the coming confrontation with glory and success and back to the safety of our court. Well, we could vent frustration at our two opposing factions. Let's see. I march fully aware of the fate, the Archons. Should I survive these battles? Okay, no, we're not going to do that one. Wait, what? I think I fucked up a thing. Oh, bummer. I don't know what I misclicked there, but damn. Okay, well, I hope that doesn't fuck me over. Okay. And do we need to level up Barrack? Oh. Before you can turn away, Barrack grabs your shoulder and spins you around. His heavy breathing intensifies as he struggles to find his words.
You betrayed Graven Ash, the Legion, and our northern countrymen. As far as I'm concerned, you are a traitor to this campaign.
I mean, to be fair, he was from that faction, but he was pretty chill before then. Um, I would really like to not lose our tank. That would be really unfortunate. Stand down, soldier. Something in your tone causes Barrack to reflexively straighten his posture and stand at attention. He gradually eases his stance and looks down at his palms, horrified by his automatic response.
Let us be clear on one point. You have my blade, but my heart belongs to Ash and the North. I am a weapon bound to you only by duty, nothing more.
That's fine. Do your duty and I will be happy. Interesting. That was worrisome, but I think we're fine. Okay. Well, let's head on down and see what happens. So we're at the top. We can go to Ascension Hall, and we can go down to the Citadel. So let's go back to the hall and look around. Are you sure you want to instantly teleport? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Let's just walk around. See if we can highlight any hidden items. The stone throne is caked with a solid layer of dust. No one has sat upon it for quite some time. The intricacies of this architecture suggest a master craftsmanship that is far beyond what one would expect from a normal tiersman. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this spire has been around for a long time. Probably... Ah, great. Okay, we did find a hidden item. Probably built by some ancient civilization that no longer exists. That's kind of how it goes, right? Trickster's Tooth. May want to sneak? Okay. We'll do that.
They won't see me coming.
Alright, let's creep around here and see what else we can highlight. We found one thing, one secret. But let's slowly circumnavigate the area and see what else we can find. Yes, sneak quietly in the completely empty room.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh, okay. Alright, it's fine. Maybe let's creep over here. Oh, I got it? Okay, alright. I was too quick for you, Dentalis. Okay. Let's head down here. Okay, looks like there's some new items. Oh, actually, there's some new areas to explore. Great. Let's poke around, see what we can see. We have a research book. These partial plans describe the process for crafting a powerful weapon. This research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. Cool. Yeah, okay. This was a training room, looks like. Bloodstains litter the training grounds. Let's wander back into this room, see if there's anything new. There is. A locked iron gauntlet. Okay, more plans for upgrades. Locked iron gauntlets can be created with access to... Okay, alright. Let's head up here. Anything good?
Would you take a look at that?
Yes, there is. Okay, Nobleman's Bracer. It's not great, gotta say. Alright, dump it in the stash, and now let's head over here. Into the kitchens. Oh. Missed this. Got some boots. Let's see here. Interesting. Got a cool bow though. I feel like that would be good for her. Let's go ahead and dump these items. Well, okay, let's put this in the stash and we'll just give this to you for now. And let's see about this bow for verse. So, oh yeah, this is way better. It's one of the few times we've had like just a straight up completely better upgrade for anybody. So once you go visit your boss, the guy that owes you a spell should be in a corner somewhere. In this room or in this citadel that I'm in now. Because yeah, I was wondering when he was going to pay up. Let's just dump this in here. We're not going to use that anymore. Oh yeah, I thought we had some potential upgrades for her. Okay, so Ebb. What can we give Ebb? She's got a great staff, which is unsurprising. Yeah, yeah. These are no upgrades. But as far as armor goes, can we give her a hat? Yeah, let's give her a hat. Yeah, we're gonna hide her helmet because her hair is too awesome to hide, I think. And let's see, is this better? I mean, this is better for unarmed, but otherwise it's not that interesting. And then as far as boots go, these are worse, and these are worse as well. But these are better as far as armor and deflection go. Okay, we'll give her this. this in here. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's keep poking around. Got a heavy helmet, nobody can use that, and we've got something over here to look at. Ah, great. Okay. You reach the maximum number of camping supplies. I haven't been resting much, so I guess that's not surprising. Alright, let's head outside, see what we see. It's pretty quiet, it looks like. Alright, I'm going to save, and then I'm going to take this opportunity to check out these spire upgrades in more detail. These look like, yeah, these are spires I've not yet discovered. I'm curious to know what the deal is with these spires. I mean, that's an interesting mystery so far. So I can recruit up to 6 people, it looks like, but there are far more than 6 choices, of course. We can, okay, we can hire somebody to respec, which is great, but we don't have, it's expensive for that. Good to know, I guess. Okay, well, what is this screen? Oh, right, we looked at this. This is the edicts. Well, let's just hire a bunch of folks while we're here. I think we want to hire Lysandra here for her magic stuff. Did anything happen when I clicked on that? Ah, okay. Okay, alright. Let's hire a merchant. Well, let's make sure there aren't any other merchants. An old beast woman who regularly provides food to take into battle. That'll be almost all of my money, though. But man, that's kind of tempting. Talos, do you have any recommendations for specific recruits to hire? Because there's some good ones here, it seems like. I mean, this would be good for my unarmed attacks. Interesting. So these are materials, I guess, for upgrades. Well, I think I'm gonna go with... Shoot, I lost it. I think the Beast Woman is too expensive, unfortunately. But maybe we'll go with Revos to just have a general purpose merchant. And maybe we'll wait, see if we can get any more money before dumping it all on recruits. So, okay, this screen... Okay, each of these are different regions with different edicts. Okay, so in this region, this was where the Edict of Storms was proclaimed. Which is why our tank is covered in shards of metal for his armor. So that was in the past. There's nothing in this region. There's nothing in this region. Here is the Edict of Fire. This is, I believe, where the Burning Library was located, if I remember correctly. Okay, and then this is where the Edict of Stone was proclaimed. When the Archon Cairn rebelled against the Overlord's rule. Okay. Alright, so I'm not sure what this screen will be for, but right now this is only showing us edicts from the past, for what that's worth. What else do we have here? The weight of Aegis. Barrick wants to know if there's a way he can be freed from his armored prison. Okay, so we're starting to get like companion quests, which is cool. I might want to focus on that first actually before I do some of this other stuff. Barrick is scared shitless by me, which is understandable. But he has a cool ability now. Traps nearby enemies in twisted spires of rock, petrifying them for a short time. Barrick likes a good joke. That's good to know. I get the impression you can boost both fear and loyalty independently of one another. You know, he can be fearfully loyal, as it were. I like Barrick. He's a great tank. Okay. Alright, what are our options now? Feel overwhelmed a little bit with what we could do versus what I want to do. What is this? A bronze Qatar. It is a one-handed weapon. It's like a pair of scissors. This is a weapon that is a pair of scissors, apparently. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Okay. Verse, could you make use of this item? Oh shoot, we need to. Well, okay, we'll give it to her, and we need to switch her back to her daggers so we can properly compare. It would appear that it is not an upgrade. So into the stash it goes. And we're going to sell all this stuff now. I think we're at the point now where we can kind of be sure that none of this stuff is useful to us. Same with this stuff. Once we find a merchant, anyway. Let's go ahead and just explore a little bit. See how things have changed since the battle. I mean, I guess we could have walked through the front door, but... Oh, yep, there's stuff, though. Okay, we'll take that. That's a locked item. Oh, ingots. This is one of the few blemishes remaining. Okay, alright.
Found something.
Oh, alright. More camping supplies, a pretty good healing potion, a really good healing potion, awesome. And I don't think I can take any more of those. Okay, great. Okay, I guess we need to walk all the way back around so we can go through the front door. Earlier we climbed up this wall to break in, so I thought maybe we could just hop down, but apparently not. Alright, we'll check that out in a second. Let's just wander up here. See what there is to see. Okay, more consumables. But nothing else. Alright, I'm gonna move the map all the way over here and just... yeah. So this is the first point in the game where we don't have a deadline we need to meet. We have been told we need to meet with our boss pretty soon. And the Scarlet Chorus faction pretty soon as well, but oh, this might be an upgrade for Barrick. Keep hold of that. Okay, looks like I can't move the camera any further. But it looks like we didn't fill in the map here before. There was a raging battle going on at the time, so that's fine. Okay. Alright, now we've explored that, I'm going to run back up and talk to Barrack, see about his companion quests. I think any game with a companion quest, especially since Mass Effect 2, as soon as I get it, I want to take care of it because I don't want to miss out on it. Yeah, let's just
Sorry, I can't.
run all the way back the way we came. To the top. Alright. So I'm guessing my party members who aren't in my party just hang out up here. Oh, and there's new people up here too? What is happening? We have a person named Lysandra. Oh, these are my people I hired. Oh, okay. So our base basically is at the top of this huge tower, which is pretty cool, I think. Okay, let's talk to Lysandra. Fatebinder, catch! The sage utters a syllable under her breath, and a ball of purple light shoots from her outstretched hand towards you. The sage's magic feels like a ball of ice, its chill working up into your arms and dispersing in your shoulders. Unpleasant, if not harmful. She nods. Brave, but foolish. That might have sheared your tissue away so fast that your skeleton would stand there for a full 10 seconds before you realized you were dead. Ooh. She offers a congenial wave. Lysandra at your service. I trained as a sage at the Vellum Citadel, but those days are behind me for obvious reasons. I'm game for a lecture. Hell yeah, teach me some stuff. Oh, awesome. Okay. Okay. All kinds of training. Okay, well, let's boost our healing. I can't remember what I use control for, but we'll give it a boost. All right, our other mages. Let's see. Let's boost his healing and control. Why not? And Ebb. Yeah, we gave her some grave light magic, so we definitely want that. We want to boost her magic staff. Okay, great. And we have a merchant, so we can sell all those weapons and armor and all that good stuff. Fatebinder, come take a look. The dirt-caked Apex local gestures to an old box at his feet. I've got a Beastman club in here. Take a look. I doubt that very much. You step up to the huckster and peer down into the box. It's full of assorted junk, nothing more. Before you can comment, you notice him reaching for your ring belt out of the corner of your eye. Well, should we slap him or just like grab his hand? I'll put it up to a vote in the chat. If anybody is still watching. Dude is definitely trying to pickpocket us. I mean, he seems friendly, you know, but this must be his test to see how sly we are. The question is, he was trying to pickpocket us, and we have the option of grabbing his hand in the process or just straight up slapping him. He has reached for our ring belt. Rings are the currency in this world, apparently. Slap him with the fish. Hell yeah, let's do it. He flinches and withdraws his hand with a hurt look. Sorry about that, Fatebinder. Old habits, you know. I was only curious how much you were carrying. A merchant needs to be aware of these things before he can charge an appropriate cost, eh? Revos at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. He waggles his eyebrows. Are these stolen? At first he seems ready to spout off a hasty answer, but he pauses and reconsiders. No, no, in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes, in the sense that I'm not entirely licensed. Okay, so light. Oh, okay, this is a lore thing. Okay. Among other things, Kairos' laws of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowances circulate. But okay, all right. Even I got bored of that. But wait. He puts his hands up. Before you throw me into Tunon's dungeon or worse, consider this. He spreads his arms and turns in a circle. We aren't standing on Terratus. We're standing high above any citizen who is subject to the Overlord's law, and this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. He stamps his foot and points to the land below. Don't presume to understand Kairos' will. I need to consider the legalities. In the meantime, I'll take a look at your goods. Yeah, we don't give a shit. He's got some good stuff. Some real good stuff. It's got scrolls from magic. Oh, that's a good one. Alchemy supplies. I don't know what those are for. Well, I think these were used for upgrading the Citadel in some fashion or another. All right, well, let's sell all our junk now. Great. Yeah, I think we can just get rid of all this. Do we have any junk? Yes, we do. Holy smokes, we're gonna have more money than we've ever had up to this point. Okay, is there anything else we can get rid of? Okay, we need to hold on to that for now. Man. Okay, this is all stuff that theoretically we could use. I think we can get rid of this. Let's hold on to this for now. You don't have anything. You don't have anything. Okay. We have one whole iron ring, you guys. Like 1.5 almost. Fantastic. Okay. So, is there anything we want to buy? I mean, that's the other question, I guess. He's got armor and weapons. He had magic somewhere, I saw. Here we go. So, I could afford these, and in fact, I thought I was holding on to a spell, right, here we go, that I already own, so I don't need it. So let's trade that away. These are all pretty powerful. This one's kind of low key, so we'll just go ahead and definitely get that. But the rest, I'm not sure yet. I want to spend the cash on these. Okay, we'll just take that. We're kind of flush with cash at the moment, at least comparatively speaking. So we have a new sigil of deflecting. I don't know what that does here. So this one causes guarded form spells to reduce the damage a target takes from critical strikes. What does that mean? Causes guarded form spells. Is that one of these? Oh, one of these. Okay. Causes guarded form spells to reduce the damage a target takes from critical strikes. I see. So in this case, so for this healing spell, if I applied this sigil, it would also reduce critical hit damage. For this vigor spell, it would do the same thing. Okay, so no matter what, it just reduces the amount of critical damage that you take. Okay, good to know. The amount of lore required is crazy. Basically, none of my characters can use this guarded form stuff yet, but good to know it's there. All right, Barrick. Okay, let's start his quest. Faithbinder, if you have a moment. Barrick stands at attention, his rigid bearing making of him an unmoving statue. I know that the two of us have clashed on several subjects since the Iron Marshal assigned me to your protection. I hope those disagreements do not weigh too heavily against the request I'm about to make of you. I could say if it's a hug you're looking for, I've got some bad news. He likes jokes, right? So he'll probably like that. No, that's not it at all. I hoped that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. The adjudicator is our boss, Tunon, I believe. What are you talking about? I have been encased in this. He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Shell, since Kairos' Edict of Storms, made a grave of old stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. Interesting. Aren't you more useful to the Overlord in your armor? Perhaps, but there are other armors. Air passes from his helmet, possibly the result of a sigh. Any respectable commander would extol to you the virtues of high morale. I confess that each day I remain confined in this monstrosity, mind wanes. That's fair. Um, I will happily make your case to the Archon. Hell yeah, let's do it. Thank you, Fatebinder. His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment. So we can petition our boss on Barrick's behalf, it looks like. I'm guessing that all of the heavy armor that we just sold, we would have been able to use for Barrick, assuming that we're able to have his permanent armor removed, because as you can see, he is encased in metal shards and things. He can't get out. And as we discussed in detail on the last stream, presumably he's just shitting into his boots because he can't get it off. And that, I mean, nobody deserves that, I gotta say. Um, yeah, Fish. So, due to various magical shenanigans, Barrack here is encased in metal armor. It just wrapped itself around him. It's permanently enfolded onto him, and he can't get it off. So, I mean, just think about it. He's not he's not taking it off to go to the bathroom. Isn't there a flap? None has been mentioned, and when we first met him, it mentioned that he smells. It didn't really specify in what way, but I feel like we can assume. So magic? I don't know. Oh, I love it. Okay. Right. So here's a question. How do I change my party? Is it this screen? No. It's formation. This is party AI stuff. So map, spire, spells, reputation, journal, talents, characters. Can I talk to him? Well, okay. This spire allows for such a long and uninterrupted view. Beric glances over the edge with hesitation, then shivers. I find restraint and limitations more to my liking, though it is nice to feel a breeze running through these plates of solid rust.
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means.
Placing his weapon to his side, Beric salutes you. The joints of his armor groan in protest.
What can I do for you?
Oh, we should discuss your connection with Verse. Right, because we discovered that they have some history together, which was not previously hinted at, so I was very curious to hear about this. So, yes.
This is not a worthy topic for our time together, Fatebinder. The Scarlet Fury and I have our differences and our similarities, but they are none of your concern.
Okay. Keep your secrets then.
Speak for yourself, you overstuffed mound of scrap metal. I've got nothing to hide from the binder here. Would you rather I told the story?
Sure.
Very well. Since you force my hand, I will relent. Though know that it goes against my very being to tell of it. We are siblings. Half-siblings.
What?
Regrettable and repugnant as that fact might seem, it is true. Though the products of different nations and cultures, we have the distinction of sharing a father.
That's a hell of a coincidence.
I am disgusted by the thought that my father lay down with some low-born southern farmhand.
Ooh.
But my horror does not spare me from the truth of it. So I accept the fact and try to move on.
Beric's faction is very preoccupied with their bloodline, we'll say. Yeah, it's rude as hell, racist as hell, I'm just gonna go ahead and say. I hadn't really put that together until just now, but yeah.
You should take it as a compliment to our father's skills. My mother's a tough woman to please. I rather think I took after him, don't you?
How did you two become aware of this?
During the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus made sport of shooting down messenger birds on their way to the disfavored camp. Anything they could accomplish to hinder our efforts or embarrass us was fair game. My father sent a missive intended for my eyes alone. By incredible chance, Verse intercepted it and recognized the name and handwriting.
That is incredible chance. Like, is there something more to this?
She found me in camp that evening, and we discussed our unlikely situation. We've done everything in our power to keep the word quiet. Not many in the Legion know that I share blood with a Southerner, much less a chorus rat.
Don't worry, Beric. When my old gang boss caught wind of our discovery, I killed her and took the gang for myself. Our secret's safe with me. Well, it was, anyway.
Do you even like each other? I think we know the answer to this.
Not particularly. She is unstable at the best of times, and a hardened killer at the worst. I don't know what her family did to her, but she lacks any pretense of human decency.
Rude.
It takes one to know one. Don't act like we're so different, Beric. You're the most repressed and intolerant soldier I've ever met. You hide it under duty and pride, but it's still there.
How has this affected you, Beric? Tell me your feelings.
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity.
He will? I don't know about that.
Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
Yeah, okay.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, oh. That's a hell of a phrase. Alright.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
Have you noticed any significant impact, Verse?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely.
I think you should discredit it entirely.
I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrick. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... Yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Okay. Let me ask about something else. Well, okay. You don't like me very much, do you? Your deeds have earned you a measure of respect in my eyes, but do not mistake my approval for admiration. The question is irrelevant. Your support of the voices of Nerat makes you an enemy of Graven Ash, and no friend of mine. I cling to our allegiance in hope that it will end the war and bring dignity to the disfavored. Would you like to discuss removing your armor? He looks at you for a very long time, his expression as unreadable as ever.
Though we are encouraged to couple and mate within the Legion, I don't consider you one of my cohorts. I think I'll decline.
That is a hell of an assumption. That's not what oh, never mind.
Can we move on? You're making me uncomfortable.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Let's discuss some immediate concerns. I don't know what that'll be. Oh, okay. Nothing, apparently. We've already discussed this stuff. I think we're gonna keep him in the party for now.
If you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
I think we'll remove Verse for now.
Goodbye to you too.
Okay, so to change our party, we have to walk up to the top of the tower and then chat up whoever it is we want to bring in. Interestingly, I noticed that it is highlighting that these people have more to say to me.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. For the moment, the Scarlet Chorus could be considered an ally. Let us hope the Archon of Secrets continues to find you entertaining enough to remain friends. The disfavored, on the other hand, will be a certain threat. The Civil War has removed Ash's pretense to play well with others. So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
So we can be the obedient employee, basically, civil servant, whatever. We can carve out our own little corner of the Empire, it looks like. That's interesting. For so long as it suits my purposes, I will work with the Scarlet Chorus. I think that's what we're gonna go with.
While Graven Ash knows more about war, I contend the Voices of Nerat knows more about victory. The Scarlet Chorus has grown with each passing year.
Okay. In many ways, the end of the conquest is largely an abstraction. Eventually the tears will be those who have joined the chorus and the corpses of those who refused. Best to be on the living side of that future.
Your fatalism does you credit, Scholar. Doesn't it feel good to be on the winning side for a change?
Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Have you heard of edicts being broken before? I kind of figured that this was a semi-normal thing, but he's acting like this is quite an exception to the rule.
Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Galbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
I thought we escaped it, though. The edict was conquer this valley, and nothing bad will happen, basically. So I'm a little confused as to why this is somehow distinct from these other examples. Have a moment? Let's talk further. So what's on your mind? Do you want to discuss matters of the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? Let's discuss current matters.
Of course. How can I help?
You're taking lots of notes. What about?
All kinds of things. My mind is old, memory's a sieve. Keeping track of you, noting what I hear of the war, scribbling down reminders to myself, that sort of thing.
Are you spying on me?
Well, yes. If I'm worth my weight in tin as a craftsman of record, future generations will know of you. So yes, the Archon of Posterity sent me. You seem troubled by something that ought to be an honor.
Is it safe to be writing on your arms that much? What, is he using like lead ink or something?
Oh, certainly not. But it depends on the ink I'm using. Too much cerulean and I can't sleep. But just the right amount, and I can write all night. The red ink will give you swamp bottom if you drink it, but absorbed through the skin, it'll make you taste colors and smell music. Speaking of which, I should change out my tip.
I feel like this is the writer wishing that he could literally get high on writing.
I use 3 kinds, sepia, cerulean, and a red that's never the same shade. My recipe needs work. I like having 3 colors, but they also provide different states of mind for writing.
It's so funny. I love it. I've never in any story or fantasy thing or whatever just had the idea of a character literally getting high from writing. That's just amazing. Your inks sound like fun. Can I try them?
Oh, no. I'm trying to observe you. Corroding your mind is not part of the plan.
Insufficient reputation. So maybe we can get a different answer to this at some point. All right, let's speak of something else. I have some questions for you.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
I'd like to know more about you. Me? Well, fine, but I'm not a very fascinating subject. I study interesting people, enough to know I'm not one of them. Well, what's your story? Tell me the origins of Lantry. Someday, someone half your age will ask you to sum up your life, and you'll realize what an odious request that is. Well, where to start? I grew up in Sunder. I was born right after independence from the realm of Stalwart. So yeah, do the math and you'll realize I'm old. Okay, so Lantry is 84 years old. Interesting. My parents were harbor hands. My mother never returned from a voyage, and my father lost his hand to infection, and decided to sell me to the School of Ink and Quills. Okay, remain silent. As a novice, I was assigned to the Dovecotes, where I learned how to raise and groom birds to carry misses. And most of my early tomes are on that subject. 10 years and several tomes later, someone decided I was ready to be welcomed into the inner circle and shown the ways of magic. And since then, I've spent a great deal of time in field study, which I suppose readied me for life after the fall of the Vellum Citadel. Well, as much as anything could ready one for the strangeness of these days. Were you born Lantry, or did you take that name on joining the School of Ink and Quill? Most sages take a new name when they join the school, but for me the transition was difficult at first. I stuck to my old commoner name and then just Never got around to picking some highfalutin name like Sage Apophis or Sage Dangling Participle. Is this your true skein? Did you always want to be a sage? I cannot imagine doing anything different. I suppose in my youngest days I yearned for battle and glory like most boys I knew. Having now seen how short a soldier's life can be, I look back on that old calling, that old mindset, and laugh. So really, though, what's your story? What do you mean by that? I know you're smarter than you act. Extend me the same courtesy. Lantry strokes his beard, leaving flecks of sepia among his white whiskers. I was on the take from the voices of Nerat, or at least an agent of his sent me to the school of Ink and Quill 30 years back. It'd be years later until I made the connection to the Archon. Most people think the war began 3 years ago, but the voices of Nerat had his hands in things sooner than that. I was part of that early invasion, an eager kid happy to accept a 30-year assignment that comes with an education. Okay, I don't fully understand what was just revealed to us, but what else aren't you telling me? You read the Edict of Fire. You were the messenger of Kairos' judgment on my work. It was about then that I decided I need to take an interest in your skein. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word right, and I don't entirely know what that word means. Skein. In truth, I am deeply curious about any who have lived as vessels to Kairos' most supreme magic. When I heard you were proclaiming a second edict, I had to find a way for us to meet. Being tied up in a prisoner camp was not the intended plan. So you abdicating surrender to Kairos was the end of your long plan? Yes and no. When I first left, I was just happy to be getting educated by the sages on someone else's rings, and my orders were simply to listen and report. As the time drew near, my commands were to win them over a little at a time to the notion of surrender. You won't notice if it's wrong. Okay, good. No judgments here. But I failed. The elders of the school grew defiant, and the militant minds won out. These are tearsmen, after all. I didn't deliver the surrender, and it took the Overlord's edicts to end what I was sent to do. Thank you for telling me. No more secrets, understood? Yeah, we'll go with that. I gained loyalty. I will endeavor to earn your trust as best I can. Sorry to have given you reason for doubt. Alright, let's speak of something else. How do you feel about Kairos? How can I not help but find him to be the most captivating person alive? The man has been to empires, claimed continents. Where he goes, history follows. I won't deny he has killed, millions at least, but I contend more would have died in petty wars across Tyrannis in the void of Kairos. I've seen what tiny despots, merchant cabals, and mage guilds can inflict in the names of all sorts of righteous causes. I will take the rule of Kairos over the tyranny of every idiot on Terratus. I am looking forward to hopefully learning more about Kairos. He's the unseen evil overlord, ruling the world, it seems. I know that most games don't really delve deep into, the evil villain's motivation beyond like a surface level, but I mean, in this game, he's not really the villain, right? He's just the guy in charge. Um, and I'd be curious to learn more about just what is his deal? How did he gain power? What is he like? What, if anything, does he want beyond power? I would hope. Like so far, this game seems really well written, and I suspect that they have built a whole backstory and motivation for Kairos. But I just wonder if we will learn what that is at some point.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
I'd like to discuss arcane matters.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things.
Alright, what do you know of Kairos' edicts? Kairos has cast many over the ages, and to my knowledge has never worded two edicts exactly the same. Edicts defy our understanding of magic. Kairos' magic works over vast distances, over indefinite durations, and no Archon or mere mage can counter the force of an edict. What can you tell me of them in general? I explain it to my students like this. A spell is to an edict as a drop of rain is to a hurricane. Edicts and spells are both magical cantrips, but differ in intensity by orders of magnitude. Well, that's a good analogy. Edicts are almost commands to Teratus that must be carried out until the instructions allow for the magic to end. If Kairos wants a plague until next Judge's Day, expect copious buboes until next Judge's Day. Buboes. I don't know what that word is. Nothing is ever dispelled in edict. Nothing outside of the edict's own sunset clause, as I like to think of them. I'm curious about a specific edict. Okay, we can ask about all these different ones. Any thoughts on the Edict of Execution on the Vendrian's Valley? It seems like the Archons were about to kill each other, and the threat of mutual destruction was about all Kairos had left. I imagine fear is the only way to get someone like the Voices of Nerat to follow orders, and the Edict certainly did whip them into action. What do you know about the Edict of Stone? The Edict of Stone ravaged the realm of Azure. The upheaval of earth and rock turned the rolling plains into a craggy steppe known as the Stone Sea. Since the edict was directed at the traitorous Archon of Stone, it would seem the upheaval of Azure was a secondary consequence, though I imagine little of what Kairos does is unintentional. What do you know of the Edict of Fire? I know that you warned us. I'm alive today because of you, as are so many of my brothers and sisters. Okay, so... Right. At the very beginning of the game, when you're kind of making all of your initial choices, one of your choices is warn the people in this library that fiery death is coming, or not. And we chose to warn them. So I wonder if choosing not to warn them would mean that Lantry here is not available as a companion. That would be interesting. I mean, I've heard that in this game your initial choices affect like the entirety of like which regions are even available to you to visit, like huge choices and stuff. Hence, you know, the encouragement to replay this game. You know, it's not very long, but there are so many different ways that everything can play out that if you do take the time to replay this, you'll see quite a lot of differences. I was not instructed to warn you and did so at my own peril. Never forget that. Thank you. I am in your debt. Well, I didn't want to scare him, but... can you tell me of the Edict of Storms? The Edict of Storms turned the once forested lands of Stalwart into a wind-swept wasteland. They call it the Blade Grave now, since only the iron and bronze armaments remain. Hurricane breezes, rust winds, and relentless lightning have destroyed the housing and farmlands. Alright. This is some deep lore here. Do edicts work on the same arcane principles as spellcraft and other magic?
Edicts are the strongest manifestation of magic we know, and they seem to violate all other lesser phenomena. No dispel cantrip has ever dented or abated an edict. Even archons with powers of great durability cannot shrug off their effects. Just look at Cairn.
That was an extremely random bit of voice acting, but I don't mind. My voice is getting hoarse.
Now, what I find curious, edicts can flex a little, or so my studies suggest this is the case. Take the Edict of Storms. While the day it was proclaimed was the most violent, the actual radius of the storm has changed over time. But most will have none of my hypotheses on this matter.
Interesting. So what's your conjecture about the edicts?
So, in my studies, some edicts resolve some problem of the overlords and then vanish into history. But the edicts that linger around, almost all of them begin to widen. Their effects become more intense.
Interesting.
Here's the intriguing part. The older the edict, and the more that's written about it, the more the reports of that edict get more dire over time.
Uh, okay. The more that's written about it, the more the reports get more dire over time. So perhaps edicts have a life of their own?
Something to that effect, at least. I contend that edicts are powered by fear. Fear of Kairos helps fuel the casting, and fear of the edict feeds the magic, sustaining it, and, if enough people fear it, even growing it a bit.
Okay. Rule by fear is certainly Kairos' way.
Intellectual honesty demands that I study the matter more. If I'm correct, the more people fear and obsess over an edict, the stronger it becomes. Anyway, another study for another time.
I really like the lore in this game. I mean, it's like a cliche for me, but like, this is interesting stuff to me, and I'm a little sad. Like, even though I'm, I don't know, a third or less of the way through this game, I'm a little sad that, as far as I know, there's no sequel to this game coming. I don't think it sold very well. And that bums me out a little because I like this world and I would like to know more about it.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel,
Okay, what do you know
it
of
is
the magic
hard
of
to
the
find someone with...
Archons? Okay. Okay, alright. I've studied many of the Archons for many years. Compared to the other sages, I'm an expert on the subject, which is sad, because I feel like I've still so much to learn. Okay, how does the magic of the Archons work? The Archons all have magical powers that are intuitive. When the voices of Nerat pulls out someone's mind or Graven Ash protects his soldiers, that magic isn't assigned spell or ritual. To them, it's closer to flexing one's hand. Archons are the, what's the word for it? Axiom of magic? The root of magic? Spell pioneers? Okay, we have some extra detail available. While every guild or school of magic will ascribe different names to the theory, all mages inevitably stumble upon an inescapable fact. Only the Archons can will magic into being. Everyone else can only cast magic by invoking the sigil of an Archon that has come before. Okay, so Archons are like the source of magic in some mysterious way. Theory suggests that once an Archon starts to invoke their powers, anyone else who comes after that Archon could tap into that power with the proper sigil and know-how. Could one guess at a sigil of an Archon not yet born and successfully cast a spell? One must have willful conscious knowledge of the Archon and the intended power being channeled. Yeah, I like this lore. There's so many questions and interesting mysteries. It's probably just me, but yeah, I like this stuff. Archons are the mothers of original magic and everyone else is just imitating them. To confuse things a bit, some Archons learn to cast other spells in the same fashion as us lesser mages. If you are as important as an Archon, you learn quick that all knowledge is power. I've studied many of the Archons for many years. Compared to... Oh, right, we read this. Okay, are all Archons loyal to Kairos? Yeah, it's good stuff. Like, they somehow really built some interesting mysteries and background stuff into this world. Officially, yes. In actuality, no. Those with the true gift of magic always come to the attention of Kairos. A few manage to evade attention for a bit. The School of Tides was founded by one such uncontrollable, but these are history's exceptions. Okay, Ebb has a comment here. Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, never bowed to Kairos, and it's said she survived the assassins sent to silence her. It makes her flight from Kairos before the war all the more troubling. We knew her as this symbol of strength, but when threatened, her weaker nature won. Her weaker nature won? What does that mean? When we write biographies of the Archons, we often refer to them as exarchs in their formative years, before stepping into their prime. But officially, Kairos is supposed to grant all titles of Archon. It's quite the faux pas to self-appellate. That's fair. Exactly why Jade insisted on calling herself Archon of Tides. She didn't need Kairos' approval to wear the title she deserves, and I know she loved the fact that doing so must have annoyed Kairos. I've studied many of the Oh, yep, okay. How is an Archon born or bred? Yes, I want to know this. I think we all dream of one day waking up and being an Archon. Given some of the madmen and loons that have exhibited mystical greatness, it can seem unfair that the rest of us can't do it. I can say with confidence Archons aren't born, they become. Graven Ash is a good study of this. Before he was the Archon of War, he was a successful commander, each victory more daring and glorious than the next. Somewhere along the way, his leadership took on mystical qualities. The Graven Ash we know today can reach out and protect his soldiers from harm, but maybe at first he could just protect those near him. I wouldn't know for certain, but all will attest that he didn't have this power his whole life. It sounds like certain great individuals can sort of will a form of magic into being through their great deeds or something. The force of their will, how epic their experiences are, perhaps, and then uh, through some means, other people can then take advantage of that magic. That's really interesting.
And I'd be happy to
What
oblige.
do you know,
Ever s-
spellcraft?
I've forgotten more than most blood chanters have ever learned.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
Can you teach me anything?
I think you know all I can teach you.
Yeah, he taught us some healing stuff. So, what sort of magic did the sages teach you? Sage Sindon tutored me in the traditional sigils, those of preservation, concealment, and healing, as derived from the bygone archons of Theravis, Fading Wrath, and the Orphan Midwife. The Orphan Midwife, that's a heck of a name. The preservation magic is largely functional, sealing parchment, binding books, that sort of thing. All of us chroniclers learn concealment magic, as our ideal method would be to study events without contaminating the decisions being made. As for the healing magic, many of us modern sages study this a great deal. The school has a shoddy reputation among the common folk, I figure. If they knew us as healers and caregivers, maybe we start to change opinions. It's a noble craft to study. True, but given how accident-prone I can be, I think the person that benefits most from my magic is me. But certainly the most gratifying spells I know are the ones that ease pain and suffering. They make me feel slightly useful. What can you tell me about signing magic? Scholars don't have a good word for what Archons do when they cast magic. Couldn't tell you how Graven Ash casts his protection over his soldiers, nor would I know how Blood and Mark consciously decides to move through a shadow. But when us mere mages want to cast a spell, we do so by signing the sigil of an Archon that previously discovered the magical phenomenon in question. It's debated whether Archons create new magic or just discover magic that was waiting for us. But such questions seem impossible to answer while sober. Okay. Alright. Lantry Loyalty Ability, the Wheel of Ages. That's cool. What is that? Combo Ability. The Fatebinder and Lantry work together to create a slowing aura around a party member. Foes within range of the aura are slowed. Cool. When party members move inside the aura, they will have their hostile effects suspended. That's awesome. Okay. Great. Whew. Alright. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and yeah, let's make sure we save here after all that lore. And yeah, I'll be back in a few moments, hopefully with a refilled water bottle and an emptied bladder. So yeah, I'll be back. All right, we're back. Probably going to go for another 45 minutes or so, till about 4 my time, and then I'll call it there. But let's let's see how much further we can get in the meantime. So we have Barrick in our party. 1 a.m. Well, you know what? It's the weekend, so do what you want. That's what weekends are for. Or go to bed, because good lord. Alright. I think we just want to head to the world map. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, now I have a better idea of how the world kind of looks here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love going to bed. Okay, so we can go to the Bastard City, or we can go to Sunset Spire. Interesting. And if I remember right... Oh wait, what does this do? Okay, that's handy. I want to keep that on. All right, let me close this. So quest-wise, okay, speak with Tunon at his court in the Bastard City. I do believe I want to do that first. Once we speak with Tunon, we'll go check out this other spire. Assuming we don't get distracted along the way, which is almost certainly what is going to actually happen. So, okay, this is the Burning Library. This is where we warned the scholars that the Edict of Fire was coming. Cacophony is the home base of the Voices of Nerat, it looks like. And Iron Hearth. Okay, this is where the disfavored currently hang out. And then there's a place called Sentinel Stand. This is where the Edict of Storms was cast, it looks like. What does this do? Oh, okay. Interesting. I love the art style of this map. Just the art in this game in general is extremely excellent. Okay, cool. Let's head to Bastard City, which sounds like a very pleasant place. And let's go to Tunon's court. It looks like though there's all kinds of places to explore with gaping pits of blackness throughout. Interesting. Right, it will take you a day and a half, almost 2 days to get there. And I was going to say, we are probably going to be accosted along the way. So, while making your way through the wilderness, you come upon several dense shrubs, liberally dotted with crimson berries. The fruits are plump and ripe, with a thin skin that gives slightly under the pressure of your touch, hinting at the juice within. Let's identify the plant. You recognize the plant as budding rose, a bush that produces edible berries. They are a known aphrodisiac, commonly used in local festivals. Unfortunately, they're also mildly toxic to practitioners of magic. So I could harvest them or just continue. I'm curious as to why they're toxic to magic users specifically. Well, let's harvest them. You carefully pull several of the berries from the plant. You could eat a berry. We're not going to do that. We could offer the berries to a companion. We could leave with the berries. Let's offer berries to a companion. You look over your companions. Well, there's Barrick, Ebb, and Lantry. Okay, Barrick. He eyes the offered berries suspiciously. Barrick tells you that while he appreciates the gesture, he's had bad experiences in the past eating wild berries of the tiers. his bronze his bronze and iron prison did nothing to decrease the unpleasantness. I think we all know what that means. All right, well, we're just going to leave with the berries. The party has received budding rose toxin placed in the stash. You secret the berries away. When you next check on them, you find that they've gone slightly off color and mushy. The smell wafting from the fruit reminds you of a corpse. Deciding it might make a worthwhile poison, you bottle the juices. The reeking pulp and the pouch you stored it in, on the other hand, you discard. Cool. Ah, okay. So this would be a great item to use when trying to attack mages because they might not be able to use their spells and stuff. Nice. All right, well that's cool. This is dramatic looking and cool looking. Look how bright everything is. Oh, and it looks like Lantry is leveled up. Let's do that real quick before we continue. Let's see here. Well, I feel like he could certainly benefit from just more lore. But it would be nice to give him a leg up as far as avoiding taking hits goes. Let's go for the spell strength now, and maybe we'll go for the extra accuracy later. Now, as far as abilities go, so we got the ability to decipher languages. I believe that was last time. We can just straight up boost his lore, which will let him use some of these more powerful spells we're starting to get. We can boost his Watcher's Judgment attack. We can boost his healing. We can boost his buffing. What is this? Erase the record. Place a preservation seal on an ally. If the ally's health falls below a limit, they are healed, and the seal is destroyed. So we can just preemptively heal them separately from our other heals, which is actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice, actually. We'll call that our prime candidate at the moment. We can just boost our Quill Strike abilities. We can just give him, better damage dealing, it looks like. I think I'm gonna go with, yeah, Erase the Record. That's a cool spell, I like it. Actually, how long does it last, though? It has a 30-second cooldown. Protected by Lantry when health below 35% for 30 seconds. Okay. Alright. I'm reasonably happy with that. Okay.
I thought idol worship was banned by Kairos.
I don't know what that's referring to. There's a cool throne over here, though. That sure does look like our boss up there. We've got some disfavored people. We've got some Scarlet Chorus people. Nobles. Court officers. Just people hanging out, it looks like. Kairos is standard, an imposing sight for both conquered and unconquered alike. Can we talk to these people? Is Tunon looking at me? I can never tell. Who can say? Alright, let's move to the center here. So, okay, these are named NPCs. Sevius, I feel like we've heard of him. Oh, well, I know we have, but I don't remember what his deal is. Let's move further up. Oh, and we have Fatebinder Callio, Fatebinder Nunoval, and Fatebinder Rogalis. Alright.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
I love his voice. He sounds so cool. I love it. The shadows beneath Tunon's cloak darken and flare around him. Murmurs of unease erupt in the court. Let's listen. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours? You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate.
The Archon turns and you feel his gaze upon you. Bled and Mark. Bled and Mark is Kairos' knife in the shadows, the unseen drop of poison that enforces the Overlord's will. He reports to Tunon the Adjudicator, serving in his capacity as the final word in those who hold Kairos' law in contempt. Few know the origin of the Archon of Shadows, or how Kairos maintains a hold on him. Those who anger the Archon never live long past sunset. Cool. Bled and Mark, what a good name.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons.
God, this guy's
Graven
intimidating.
Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
So, number one, the Archons could not agree and descended into accusations of treachery, or the Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war. Well, I mean, we're not going to lie to our boss. That just wouldn't be right. Okay, let's just present the facts. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. What balderdash! The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warned you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. From all accounts, it would seem you were instrumental in its capture, or so the petitioner of the Scarlet Chorus testifies. The disfavored commander has a dimmer view of the matter. Lend me your perspective.
I joined with the Scarlet Chorus. We took the Citadel with an unstoppable advance.
The edict meant certain doom if the siege failed. So why, when your survival depended on it, did you join your strength to the Scarlet Chorus and not the elite disfavored?
Well, we can throw Graven Ash under the bus. Or we can just say we just sort of liked the Voices of Nerat more, which basically is what it was. Throw him under the bus? Alright, we'll do it. For a long while, the adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I have told you all that I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Okay.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Oh boy. Cool. Alright, speak with Tunon privately. Looks to be our next objective. Can we speak to these Fatebinders first? Alright. Ah, Iron Fist, you return, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of War claps you good-naturedly, and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. He rakes a hand through his thick red beard and offers you a grin. Come, let us speak freely. So I assume these are Fatebinders working for different Archons, is what I'm interpreting here? Is it bedtime, Fish? How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I cannot speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy and impetuous beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. Ooh. It was nothing so exciting as you're no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authority could see me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. Just a little stream time before sleep. Well, hopefully my lovely voice can whisk you away to dreamland. Why burn the bodies? Corpses piling in the streets spread plague faster than the filthiest of rats. I was but 10 and a weak fighter. I did what I could for my homeland. Oh, it's nice. Why was it a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were of superstitious stock, a time before Kairos brought reason to the realms. The people of my city believed that without proper rites, I was cheating our fallen warriors from returning to the land. It's a good thing Tunon spared you. Favor with Tunon, cool. As I have said, the adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, as is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As the Fatebinder of War, I rely heavily on your talents. Cool. I'm curious about Tunon's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me, but I can assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. I want to know about the Silent Face. Word tag, thank you for the follow. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, Silent Face mask. The Silent Face is the face that Tunon shows to us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The Silent Face is a patient face, a face for listening as Tunon presides over all matters brought to the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. I want to know about the Face of Resolve. Tunon's last known dawning of the Face of Resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the districts in the Bastard City. Since then, he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly, and with efficient diplomacy. So those gaping pits that we saw in the art earlier, I assume are whatever this judgment was that is being referred to here. I want to know about the face that is no more. Tunon is said to have worn a third mask in aeons past. I have heard rumored that the face displeased Kairos and thus was destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease our overlord. Interesting. I wonder if that's from when Tunon joined with Kairos or something similar. Have you ever seen Tunon change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our raiment? No, not as such. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time, you merely realize it has already happened. There is work enough for the court that we shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? Need a lore dump for our own faction, it seems. The seasoned warrior rubs a finger against the line of stubble along his cheeks. We are a relatively young order, though we have spanned these past 2 centuries. While the voices of Narad and Graven Ash need armies to execute their will, Tunon wields but a modest court of vassals. We exist as the extension of his law. There is no place in all of Taratus beyond our judgment. Okay, tell me about Kairos' armies. Ah, yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. Were you asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored? Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of every realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There is no continuity of command in the chorus. Narad allows, encourages even, the strong to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers, and brute force is almost always a viable solution, much as Rogalus insists otherwise. Rogalus. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength from the multitudes it swallows. Its blood chanters have taken knowledge from various tiers mystics, and many of the chorus's best soldiers were grown here in the south. The Disfavored are the iron tip of Kairos' great phalanx. Armed with the best weapons, the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash, the Disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has a saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Archon of War is able to lend his will and strength to his soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. I've claimed the spire at Vendrian's Well. So the court whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment, he offers you a wistful sort of smile. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. I would hear of your past victories or of recent events. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Iron Fist? I do admit I never tire of telling them. He laughs, hearty and deep. Very well then, let me champion the feats of my conquest. Let the glory of Kairos' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. You may be interested to know that as of late, I've entreated a forge-bound smith to craft me an iron sword, one he claims will not break in battle. However, and rather unfortunately, there appears to be an extended period of delay for the delivery of goods promised, even for a Fatebinder. Alright, let's talk to these other Fatebinders, see what they have to say. Fatebinder Callio. Iron Fist, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendrian's Well are the matter of some discussion. The Fatebinder of Balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she's trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. So tonight is D&D night. I'll watch the recording later. Good luck. Okay, great. Yeah, have fun at D&D. As I said earlier, I'm uploading the VODs to YouTube. The YouTube link is on my Twitch profile, so if anyone here wants to check out the earlier streams of this, you can definitely check them out there. YouTube.com/Sean Beeland, and yeah, check them out. Then, have a great night. What can I do for you? Callio touches a gentle hand to your shoulder. That's a little off-putting, I'll say. Has anything happened while I was away? There have been whispers that Cairn grew disloyal to Graven Ash's command during the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation near Plainsgate, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Cairn by proclaiming Kairos' Edict of Stone. The very earth turned against the traitorous Archon as the region split asunder in righteous judgment. Yeah. Well, these things happen. Havoc. What can you do? You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of his law, if not the very letter. And those who don't will be dealt with, swiftly and efficiently, at the point of Bledenmark's blade. The Fatebinder slips a slim dagger from the folds of her purple garb, flipping the weapon almost idly in the air. Of course, that is assuming I don't dispatch them first. I take my duty seriously, and I'm very, very good at it. There are so many things about 2020 that would have gone differently, both in obvious and not obvious ways. I try not to think about it much because it just would drive me crazy. What a year. What a year. How have you occupied your time in the bastard city? Cunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to punishing chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. She waves it off. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the fish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. I'd like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kairos' law, and his word is judgment. All of this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on, or does he intimidate you still? She chuckles softly. I jest, of course. I have some concerns about the war. You are free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. We are too lenient. We are too cruel. Divided, we cannot win. Let's go with that. I'm less concerned about the armies than the Archons themselves. There can be no order when mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? Let's just lean into the Scarlet Chorus. Their ruthlessness will win us this war. Strength in numbers. Who could ever hope to stand against the swelling multitude of the chorus? She nods in approval. And yet the army moves without tact, kills without thought, marches on half rations at best, and is subject to madness and brilliance in equal measure. Wars have been won with fewer advantages, though I wonder if the Scarlet Chorus is equal to the challenge. Alright, farewell. And Fatebinder Rogalis. Fatebinder, you return. Rogalis looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression. My eyes just died. I used everything dark mode and then Excel opened by accident. This is your computer telling you you have some calculations to make, obviously. Perhaps you can calculate the various ways in which this game can play out. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you very much. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. Tell me about some of the past Archons. No one is entirely sure how many Archons Kairos has killed, but I would guess it numbers several dozen or more based on the various histories I've been able to piece together. Where did you study when you were younger? I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall, and I absorbed all that Tunon and my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the tiers, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust the library. What do numbers look like to people who can't see them? I don't know. You tell me. What do we got? The suspense is killing me. Pufferfish? Sleepyfish? Of course, now the Vellum Citadel is nothing more than a burning waste, alas. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You'll need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is, on last count, slightly more than a handful of us. Well, what's your opinion of the Fatebinder of War? Nunaval's keen, brash, and a hardy braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. What's your opinion on the Fatebinder of Balance? Callio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. What's your opinion of me? Tell me to my face what you think of me. I have pondered your impulsive nature. It vexes me constantly. Your support of the Scarlet Chorus only affirms my belief that you are among the more severe and unpredictable members of our office. That's fair. Let's talk about something else. Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? With which should I start? Tell me about the Old Walls. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. The forbidding ruins crisscrossed the Tiers and North alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Okay, tell me about the Bane. The Bane are found in the Old Walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking nearby. They've been talking up these Bane. I feel like I played something recently that I'm blanking on where they talked up this scary enemy and it turned out to be nothing, but we haven't hit that point yet here. They're just talking up the Bane. They're like this background. I don't want to use the word threat, but there's something that the game is periodically reminding you that these guys are scary. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. I'd like to know more about the tiers. The political entities of the tiers are essentially split between the Bastard tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. What can you tell me about the Bastard tier? The Bastard tier is the most northern of the tiers and was the first to bow to Kairos' reign, though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kairos had his eye on the Bastard tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. Tell me about the Younger Realms. The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be cataloged as follows: Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Stalwart is also worth mention, for it comprises the whole of the southernmost tier and proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against the disfavored, though the Edict of Storms has cut off the best of their defenses. It is only a matter of time before Stalwart falls. I would like to hear about the free cities. There are 3 free cities remaining: Last Harbor, Spiral's Maw, and Barris and Chains. The first and strongest of the free cities was the Setting Sun, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining free cities were quick to surrender. Let's talk about the sages. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous of wrongs in the known histories for which they can never be forgiven. Okay, he feels strongly about that. So that is the 3 fate binders. I'm curious as to how much influence they'll have on the game going forward.
Will do.
Let's chat up these folks here. Oops. Okay. Blood Mulch, Fatebinder. You are no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. He glances up at Tunon. So good of you to join our little family with the voices. We'll make you feel right at home. You'll make our time in the tiers an interesting one, won't you? He smiles for an uncomfortably long time. Of course he will. You made us plenty comfortable in Lethian's Crossing, didn't you? He winks. It was nice to rest a spell and focus on local concerns for a change. Having a brothel on hand didn't hurt either. Fifth Eye promised me Blood Chanter lore for services rendered. Tell him I'm still awaiting payment. Did he now? Bloodmulch reaches into his satchel, his hands sorting through missives and scrolls. Then I insist on paying his debt for him. How often does one have the chance to purchase leverage over Nerat's beloved puppet for mere parchment? I'll whisper about how he impinged the honor of the Crimson Spears and made us look bad. Maybe use it as an excuse to start a duel. We received the Sigil of Blood Magic. Study, and study well. The voices of Nerat prefers them educated. Cool. Let's check out that sigil. Oh no, I need to read it first. That would help. Okay. This increases the amount of damage a spell inflicts at the cost of the caster's health. Well, don't know if I'm gonna use that much actually. But okay. So, okay, if we make a healing spell, Sigil of Life, and use the Sigil of Blood Magic. Well, okay, we need to select an expression first. Okay. Just okay, a normal touch spell. Okay. It doesn't work in that case. You can't use blood magic with healing spells, apparently. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so if we go with frickin' fire and apply blood magic to it, what does that do? Well, I'm a little confused. Oh, I see. Okay. So it boosts the raw damage. Okay. And then it steals armor. It I don't quite understand how to interpret this. Plus 18 armor stolen. So does that mean my armor rating goes down? The stolen, I've seen the stolen word used a few times and I don't quite understand it, but so okay, if we were to do, I don't know, an illusion spell. Okay, we can't use blood magic for that either. Lightning, same deal. Armor stolen. Okay. Sigil of Force. Can't use blood magic. So just raw attack magic is kind of what the blood magic boosts. I feel like I'll have to look that up if I really want to use it, because the plus 18 stolen is like a weird double negative type situation, and I don't know how to interpret it, so that's alright. Go chat up these folks real quick. They're probably going to be mad at me since I sided against them, but that's okay. Maybe we'll save before we chat them up. Oh right, that's Barrick. That's my dude. Aurora avoids making any eye contact with you. Albatronus. Fatebinder. The lieutenant gives you a curt nod. I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. End conversation. Okay. And Sevius. Okay, I am duty bound to remain civil to you in this vaunted court, but don't push it, traitor. Okay. Alright. That's fair. So I think what we are going to do is walk here and save this conversation with our boss for next time. The more I read, the drier my throat gets, and the more I stumble over my words. So, but I've been doing this for 3 hours today, so we made some really good progress. We finished the first act. We made it to a new city. We got a freaking tower that is just all ours, which is awesome. Yeah. Let's save. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Next time we'll continue the conversation. We'll make sure to see Barrick's armor situation hopefully resolved. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, you can check out the YouTube channel if you want to get caught up. And yeah, we'll just keep going for as long as it takes. Fish, thank you for hanging out. Havoc, Dentalos, anyone else, thank you so much. And I will see you guys when I see you. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and take care.